In these conversations, I always start at zero, the place of the beginning. From there, it arises into the theme. And the theme at this point for this conversation is that of trust. Trust has been stretched, it has been exacerbated to the point where it's like taffy, been thinned out, and we don't trust. We don't know who to trust, what to trust. The hours of the days linger on, and yet they are filled with emotions that we all feel: angst, anxiety, loneliness, sadness, depression, anger, even hate for some. And so trust doesn't have the room that it used to in our daily lives. And this is a powerful time, a time where to build a new level of trust. And that's what we're doing. We're building a new level of trust, a new level of trust within ourselves and within our lives. And the cascade of flow, and let me say it maybe a better way, the cascading nature that is of flow. And by flow, I mean the movement of life. We're all on a conveyor belt of life, and we have our minute and magnanimous struggles that appear as we move along our life. And the flow is completely different. It's the craziest roller coaster, upside down, sideways, tilt-a-whirl we've ever been on. I, like you, and many, many, many of us, are developing a new level of trust. Trust in what the world will be like and with whom we will be engaging, not only within ourselves and connected to us, but those who are in charge of our world. If you haven't noticed, everything has changed. And that is as it should be. And within the next decade, 3/4 of a decade, it will continue to sort itself out, because this is 3.5, 4 years into a major tipping point. A tipping point that is one of numerous tipping points within a cycle of about 175 years. And I think we're doing reasonably well for humans, for human beings. It's not easy. And so one of the things that has to occur, and I do mean has to occur, within every individual that is awake enough to grasp it, is to redefine trust for themselves, within themselves, and that which is most holy to them. And everyone has their own opinion on what is holy and sacred. And for some, it is the material qualities of life. And there's nothing wrong with having things and stuff. To move to a more accurate level of trust, we have to start with regrouping, and that is hope. And hope is a practice that is encouraged within each one of us, moment to moment, often. I hope there's something in the refrigerator. I hope I have enough money to pay the water bill. I hope I don't get furloughed in my job. I hope I can open the restaurant someday. I hope the vaccine will be here soon. I hope it'll be safe for me. That's a practice of hope. It's not wishful thinking. Wishful thinking is different. Wishful thinking is like blowing a dandelion seed out into the air and not having any direction at all, casting it to the wind. And sometimes that's okay, to let it see whatever happens. Hope is the first step in a defined goal. Hope is the first step in building the blocks of faith within your life. So hope, faith, trust, and power, your power, and the power to which you are connected, because we're always connected, we're never alone, is what this season is about. In this season, just right now, this kernel of time, we need to hold on to what we believe is truth, not just true, but truth, to ease up on the outer chatter and not buy into all the destruction that's going on. Yes, if you can do something about it, do something about it. If you can't do anything about it, turn it off a little bit. When you go inward, you are always met. You are always met with the threads of those who love you and walk with you. And it is that level of connection. It is your lifeline. And now more than ever, you need that lifeline. We all do. Sitting within the silence of yourself and going in and listening and feeling and allowing that lifeline to be revealed to you again. And it may be like a rope that's been under the water way too long, now filled with lichen and moss and seaweed, but it's your job to clean it up. It's your job to clean it up so you can listen again and you can hear and you can be guided and directed to what you need, to where you need to go to the place where once again hope and faith are the walls that build the deep well of trust within you. The group who met me when I died. It is a group that I don't always listen to. It is a powerful group that surrounded me, met me, surrounded me, and waited for me to wake up and realize where I was when I died. When I first saw them, when I awakened unto their presence, I knew I was home. They are a unified group of individuals and yet a collective simultaneously. Very similar to the way the human race could be if there was alignment. This group is highly aligned to the harmonics of their own being as individuals and as this collective. They are here to guide us all who can hear them, who can listen, and the ability to connect. Because these conversations will not just simply be about an encouraging word. There is always instruction. They have guided and instructed me for a long time, since I was a little girl. They guided me as the curiosities rose so stiffly within me when I was 10 and began to query the clergy and go to the churches in my town of all different faiths and have those who travel with their faith and knock on doors, inviting them into the home, while babysitters sat across the living room with curious and suspicious glances as we talked about their faith, because I had to know who was right about God. I had to know. I had to know. And I still have been in that search. You know, what is God? It's who God is to you. And that's what matters. Who is God to you? For the form and shape of God can be in anything that resonates with the highest part of you, marbled with that line of skepticism and yet filled and laced with curiosity. All of those aspects are there in order for you to find and discover who God is for you. There is a drop of God within your heart that cannot be denied. It is there to hold you and instruct you and guide you in every moment of your life if you're willing to listen. It is a drop so pure that it's often reflected in the eyes of another when you gaze at them with that open heart of yours. And vice versa, they can see that within you, within your eyes, within a tone, within a word, within your energy as you approach them. Only one drop is what you have. and it is plenty, for the reflection of eternity is within that drop. A drop of light that infuses itself within the organic and natural and scientifically proven luminary qualities of every cell of your body. And the light comes from who God is to you, who God is for you. When we come to the crossroads to the degree that we have at this point in time, it's not a four-way stop. It is an entanglement of pathways converging in such a dynamic and often hysterical manner that it throws entire sections of humanity, conscious and unconscious, into chaos. So what do? We watch, we wait. We wait for movement, just as if we were in a horrendous traffic jam. We wait for some opening and movement, and that opening and movement will only come from within you. It cannot come from any other place. It will not come from an external source. It absolutely will not, for only you are capable of listening to that drop of light within you. And do not underestimate what is contained within that drop of light. You can search your heart right now if you want to. Where is that located within you? You'll find it right away. It's a different source, a different structure. It has a different viscosity and rises out of the cell to meet you. I know you can see it. I know you can feel it. Where is it? In you. And take your time to get to know it. Listen first. Listen first. Years sometimes of listening. And if you need to act, that will be an immediate feeling and you will know exactly what to do. Although you may do it a little afraid, because it does take you into a place of destiny, and destiny always takes you into the unknown. You cannot discover yourself. You cannot discover the path to a goal, whether it's mundane or a miracle on the horizon. You always go in blind. You always go in with part of you unafraid, part of you curious, and part of you terrified. And that's all right. Being terrified is jet fuel. Being curious is jet fuel. Being unafraid opens doors.